Okay, so how is it trying to make a leotard? Guess that depends on how much you love working with four-way stretch fabric, stretch thread, and with elastic. I haven't really decided yet. I ordered a leotard pattern about 7 days ago. It was supposed to be here in 2 days, but with COVID and it's almost Christmas, there are general mailing nightmares all over the place. So all my packages are late, not just this one. Anyway, finally came, and my husband was even excited about this. Actually, I think he was the most excited because he thinks that I can make custom leotards and the money's just going to roll in from that. Again, I think not. We've got COVID, dance classes, companies, all closed up. And am I really good enough on my first try to make these for resale? Let's see. Okay, so my youngest daughter picked a fabric. We took her measurements and decided on a size that I thought would work. And then I traced the pattern onto paper. Paper that I can cut up so I don't destroy the ridiculous amount of sizes that came with the pattern, which that's a great feature of the pattern, that it has a ton of sizes. So I can use it from my tiniest daughter to my daughter who's a professional ballerina. So anyway, I decided to cut the front and the back as one piece instead of two pieces. It saves a couple of seams. Most people want less seams in their leotards and tights. Comfy dance clothes have the least amount of lumps possible, I've always found. I'm using one fabric anyway, so why not keep it one piece, right? Side note, I probably should have lined this. It's nice and opaque, but it might be a little bit more coverage comfy with the front lining. Up to you. All right, then we got to the reading of the instructions. I don't like patterns. Not a fan. I'd rather fly by the seat of my pants. I actually kind of wish this one had a few more detailed instructions about putting it together, but I was prepared for the project. I had watched tutorials on stretch thread and on sewing with stretch fabrics. The stretch fabric, not too bad to work with. Stretch thread was absolutely not my friend. I felt like I must have rethread this machine 100 times at least. The serger did great with the stretch thread. The sewing machine did not do as well. Like I said, I watched all the tricks and tips before the pattern came. I bought stretch needles and thread nets. You should look those up if you don't know what they are. If you have a plan of trying something with stretch, they're kind of neat. Stretch thread, stretch needles, and nets. Look them up. Watch tutorials of people who actually know what they're doing to see how they use those things. Anyway, tried all the kinds of stretch thread before the Leo project started, and I'm glad that I did because I know that it did help me in the long run. So the people that you are seeing out my window in this video background there, a rabbit got run over. So all the neighbors and the garbage men, that's probably not politically correct, sanitation workers got close and looked at it to try to decide what it was. So weird. Anyway, that's what you're seeing in the background. As for the elastic on this project needs to 100% go in the legs, but in this pattern, it did list the option of making it using bias tape around the neck. We opted just to fold over the hem with a double needle top stitch because I thought I had seen that and I was gonna get fancy. We did add the elastic in the front for a little ruched look. So we put the elastic in the legs, folded everything else over and just top stitched that. And then for the ruched look in the front, we then put a little sunflower button on the front because when I added that little elastic to ruche it, the double needle was still on and it jabbed a hole right in the front of the leotard. You can't see it, and if I hadn't told you, you'd probably think that it was a design feature, or at least that's what I'd like to think you would think, but it's another lesson. Don't use the double needle right there to punch a hole in this fabric. I probably did something wrong. Either way, it happened. So in the end, is this Leo wearable for a 7-year-old taking an online ballet class? Absolutely it is. Could I sell it in an online shop? Absolutely no, I could not. It isn't perfect. It's not close. It needs a little smoother top stitch over the elastic that's added into the legs, as well as the neck and the arms. And remember, depending on your preference, you can do that with elastic or bias tape or do what I did and fold it over. Up to you. I did, however, show this to my adult daughter and she blurted out, "I want one," which is sort of a success because she is a professional ballerina and she is very, very particular. So that was kind of a success. So I wouldn't call the whole thing a failure. I learned a lot. My baby girl has a fun little Leo, and I'll definitely keep working to make any future leotards that I might make a success.